This is my theory of Nazi zombies, the story behind the game. This has been created on 2/22/2011, after Ascension. In my previous theory, when I made it at Shi No Numa, pre-Riese, people didn't understand how old the video was and still commented on it today, telling me information I did not know of when Shi No Numa was the most recent map in zombies. So save yourself some time when this video becomes as old as my last one, so you don't need to comment on stuff I already know. Now on to my theory. This is not set in stone, nor is it the only truth. This is my idea behind the zombie story, and it is open for debate. And now on to the theory. The reason these zombies are hunting your characters throughout the entire game is because of many reasons, but the biggest one is revenge. Your characters Tank, Takeo, Nikolai, and Richtofen were introduced in Shi No Numa. Throughout the maps and radios, you'll learn about their personalities and what is really going on. Dr. Richtofen is a crazy scientist who gets involved with two groups, the Illuminati and Group 935. In Shi No Numa, whenever he goes down or is revived, you hear him say,
"The service to
my
the
service
Illuminati
can continue." As the map progresses, Richtofen's allegiance wanes as well. He was a lead scientist in Group 935 and I believe an inside agent from the Illuminati at first. As the game goes on, the Doctor seems to only be loyal to himself. While experimenting in Group 935 during World War II, a meteor crashed to Earth. It is called the Takasagana meteor, which contained element 115 of all 115 originally. And the meteor can be found in Shi No Numa, Kino der Toten, and Dead Ops Arcade. In the radios in Riese, where Dr. Maxis, another head scientist of Group 935, is asking for the government backing to fund their projects, he mentions a Nevada base located in the United States. We can only assume America has either found more meteors that have crashed into the Earth, or, as stated on the walls in Verruckt, painted in blood, a date can be found. This date is where a meteor hit America. This could be another supply of 115 that was mentioned. With this element from the meteor, the two rivaling countries went into mass development trying to make weapons of mass destruction. This is where Group 935 was assembled. They were created to produce weapons of mass destruction and to win the war for Germany. They were a secret group. The head scientists in this group were Dr. Maxis, Dr. Richtofen, Dr. Porter, and Dr. Peter. Each had their own assignment, but they had many people working under them as well. As confirmed by the computer in Black Ops, Dr. Maxis developed the ray gun, Dr. Porter developed the secondary version of the ray gun, X2 Porter's ray gun. Dr. Richtofen created the Wonder Waffle DG2 and the DG3JZ. Peter was the head scientist and researcher for the biochemical development. He was sent to Verruckt to test the elements of 115 on patients in the asylum. The effects were evil and massacred the people. This is the first step in the creation of the living of the Nazi zombies, or zombies. As testing continued at the asylum, things got out of hand. Test subjects went crazy, and the use of 115 made humans lose their mind. While working close with 115, Peter lost most of his mind during his research. When the Verruckt facility became out of hand, a group of subjects were sent to Verruckt to extract Peter. This could also be found in the Black Ops computer. The leader of this infiltration was Tank Dempsey. I never believed this until the computer confirmed it in the Dreamland server files. Dempsey successfully extracted Peter, but lost his teammates in the process. Peter and Sandy created the blood markings on the walls through the voices he heard in his head. Element 115 causes these voices, as you see from Richtofen and Yuri in the radios in Ascension and Riese. As Dempsey extracted Peter, the events in Riese unfolded. Riese was the main facility. This is where the weapons were developed, the original zombies were created, Hellhounds, and Samantha. As you hear through the 4 radios, Samantha was a little girl, daughter of Dr. Maxis. She was given a dog named Fluffy, not Flossie, by her father. Fluffy was pregnant, and Maxis kept this in mind because he wanted to experiment with Fluffy from the start. With the success of the new weapons, they continued down a new path, matter transparency. You hear through the radios the tests Dr. Richtofen and Dr. Maxis conduct. They test each of the teleporters that are found in Riese and their effects on humans. The subjects are either deformed or dead. Dr. Maxis then shifts his ideas after he got a successful teleport but no reappearance at the mainframe. He then started to test on Fluffy, Samantha's puppy. During experimentation, Samantha comes into the laboratory and sees her puppy. Dr. Max is in the middle of an experiment and orders Dr. Richtofen to take Samantha out of the lab. As this conversation is going on, Fluffy becomes the first Hellhound. The effect of the element 115 turned her into this. Maxis is in his new curiosity, orders Dr. Richtofen to open the cage door that Fluffy was in. Samantha then starts to cry, asking, "What have you done to her puppy?" The Hellhound, now evil, tries to kill Dr. Maxis. Samantha gets behind her father out of fear and obedience from her father. As they slowly back up, the Hellhound moves in closer. As they near the teleporter, Dr. Richtofen closes the door on them. This door seems to connect to the teleporter, but in the maps, we know there doesn't seem to be anything that could lock you in the teleporters. Dr. Richtofen then activates the teleporter with Dr. Maxis and the Hellhound, Fluffy, with Samantha inside. This teleportation causes Maxis to be disintegrated or killed in some shape or form. Samantha is mutated by this teleporter that seems to be a prototype. This could be the first time multiple subjects were teleported. The mutation and effects of 115 cause humans to die or go crazy. Samantha, now fueled by hate from her murderer and as well as her father, creates a whole new problem. She's now a supernatural being with the ability to control things in reality, even though she may not exist in reality. With this said, Samantha then causes the Hellhounds to spawn and the endless hordes of zombies to come. The zombies are limited without Samantha, but with her, the zombies are everlasting. She can spawn more and more. Dr. Richtofen, after everything, flees Riese to Shi No Numa, where the original Supply 115 occurred from the meteor Tukasagana. He leaves a distress signal at Riese so people will not venture there. Back to Verruckt now. Samantha is now becoming the voices in Peter's head. She starts telling him all the events, dates, and people. She's not only trying to possess him, she's trying to kill everybody involved with the experiments. There are two sides to Sam. There's still that 6-year-old child who was an innocent, happy person, but the 115 causes her to become an evil monster. She wants everyone to pay, but doesn't like hurting them. The experiments from the radios in Riese, where Maxis tries to train a zombie, is showing what the experiments of 115 cause in people. This was occurring in both Verruckt and Riese. The Germans were trying to create the super soldiers as well. When Peter found out about Riese's failure, he fled to Shi No Numa, where Richtofen was, continuing his research. When he arrived, he told Richtofen about Dempsey, who was unaffected by the effects of 115. Richtofen looked back at the previous subjects they had been successes during their experiments. Group 935 had 3 men that were successfully unaffected by the uses of 115. They erased their background information that only contained Group 935. These men were Tank, Nikolai, and Takio. With their memories slowly coming back to them map by map, the story unfolds. These men then come to Shi No Numa to once again extract the doctors. In the iPhone version of Shi No Numa, Peter dies. He may be the hanging man in Shi No Numa on consoles because he is missing on the iPhone version. Dr. Richtofen, who finally perfects his Wonder Waffle DG2, defends himself until the 3 heroes come. Each with the important memories of their testing erased, they help Dr. Richtofen fight off the hordes of zombies that Sam is summoning to kill our heroes. Wherever there is 115, Sam will be there. In Shi No Numa, you can hear the distorted voices in the comm room. These voices seem to be distress or warning signals. This could have been coming from either facility, Riese or Verruckt. With the help of his unconventional allies, Dr. Richtofen leads them to his escape route from Riese. A teleporter was set up in Shi No Numa to get to Riese, or vice versa. This was an efficient way to transfer 115 in theory. Since the teleporters were just functional, Dr. Richtofen didn't have time to test it. Now before he headed to Riese, where everything started, first zombie, first hellhound, and creation of Samantha's evil, I wanted to discuss the radios in Shi No Numa. The main radios, actually all three, in the first room you spawn in discusses a very important message. The numbers read off in the beginning are the coordinates to the actual restricted space in Nevada, America. Many thought this to be the next map, Area 51, but so far it has not been. This seems to be the American base mentioned in the Riese radio with the surplus supply of 115. As for the message in Dr. Porter, since it was head designer of the X2 ray gun and has not been identified in any other radios thus far, he is warning anyone at the Shi No Numa facility, which was the original source of 115, and then they brought everything to Riese, that Verruckt has been overrun and need to flee to Riese and keep Riese safe. Riese stands for the Giant, or the Giant Project, referred to by Dr. Maxis. The teleporters are this. That was the biggest project after the development of the Wonder Weapons. After the message is finished, the radio plays the Nevada coordinates again. The next radio found in the storage hut plays a voiceover of the Verruckt trailer from World at War. This is just another reminder of the outbreak. The radio in the doctor's quarters, Richtofen's quarters, whispers 115 in static. There's a box labeled 115 across the zip line that leads to the doctor's quarters. This seems to show us the workings of 115 and how mass-produced the process was. As far as the book in the doctor's quarters, you hear Dr. Richtofen laugh hysterically. This seems to be a journal with all his research of 115 and matter transparency. The reason he is laughing is because of a breakthrough he made, or this is actually a book of Max's he needed to finish the GG2. The last Easter egg in Shi No Numa that is huge is an introduction of the nursery rhyme. There's a Japanese nursery rhyme playing in the back of the fishing hut when all is quiet. This is the song associated with Sam throughout all the crying, the voices, and the creaking in Shi No Numa. This is the sound that means Sam is here. Back on track now. Dr. Richtofen, needing not only his work, but wanting to kill the abomination he created, Samantha, returns to Riese with